So, it's last week and I'm standing in my bathroom at the sink and I'm in the middle of brushing my teeth. How many times have I brushed my teeth in my life? Over 17,000 times. I don't need to watch myself brush my teeth, so I'm not looking in the mirror. I am watching a YouTube video and I'm minding my own business. And then my boyfriend opens the bathroom door and he looks at me up and down. He takes a sharp inhale and then he begins hysterically laughing at me. And I don't know why he's laughing at me, so I look in the mirror to see is there something wrong with my face, and there isn't, and he just keeps laughing at me. He finally composes himself and he says, "You are ridiculous. You can't spend 2 minutes brushing your teeth without being on your phone." And I'm like, okay, laugh at me. There was YouTube videos to watch. And then yesterday comes. So me and my boyfriend are on the other side of town. We both have our car because we've just had to go to the garage, so we're driving each other there. It's been a really long day, I'm exhausted. So I'm sitting in the car weighing up my options and I think, right, we're on the other side of town, I may as well get a takeaway on the way home. So I use my phone, I phone the takeaway. Like 3 times it goes to voicemail. I search up their opening times and they're not open for another 25 minutes. Then I suddenly realise my phone blinks between 11% and 10% and I'm like, oh my god, I don't have any battery for this. I decide that I cannot possibly go to the takeaway with my phone about to die. So I'm like, right, scrap that, we're gonna have to go home, we'll eat pasta. I looked at my boyfriend and I'm like, oh my god, I am ridiculous. I'm about to not go to a takeaway and get food that I want because I can't face the thought of spending an hour without my phone, and that's just so ridiculous. In that moment, I'm like, I have a phone addiction. Not going and buying food because my phone's about to die is the stupidest decision I've ever made. So I say to him, do you want to come meet at the takeaway? You can come sit in my car and we'll chat. You finally got it, like, you're addicted to your phone. Yes, I would love to come. I'll park up beside you at the takeaway. I'll come sit in your car and we'll chat. And it was such a good 45 minutes just sitting chatting in the car. I came to the realisation in that moment that I have a phone addiction, and I, on so many occasions when I have two minutes to brush my teeth or I have 45 minutes to kill waiting for food, I just grab for my phone and it's a problem. So I'm just gonna lock my phone away. I'm not getting distracted by all of the social media coming at me. Hello? There we go. Power off. There she goes. Okay, I'm feeling stressed. I'm gonna put my phone away in the very top of the cupboard. Okay. I already feel naked and bored. We'll see if I get anything productive done tonight. I'm gonna go eat. It's a few hours later, having a wild Saturday night, I'm doing some reading. I have a presentation on Monday morning. I thought this would be the perfect time to read up on things. I think the boredom is getting to me. Kind of reminding me of summer holidays as a kid, like summer of 2006, school holiday vibes. It's getting kind of late and I'm thinking about reading a book. Usually I scroll my phone for at least 5 minutes before I go to bed, but I don't have that just now. So I woke up this morning and I had a feeling that I couldn't shake. Almost felt like I was camping. Like the feeling of camping when you wake up and you're in a different place and you don't have any problems. It almost felt like that. So I think the first morning without my phone, I say the first, the morning without my phone went down pretty well. And I forgot to wear my Fitbit to bed, so I feel like my heart rate was real low, but I don't have the data to prove it. So I'm gonna give my hair a quick straighten and then I'm ready for the day. Really bizarre waking up this morning. I got up to go to the bathroom and I just instinctively looked at the corner of my bedside table to grab my phone to go to the bathroom and it wasn't there. I don't have any complaints about not having my phone. I think it's going well so far. I did have to go into the cupboard to get different lenses, but I didn't feel the need to touch my phone. So I'm still playing by the game. Drinking a whole cup of tea takes 10 minutes and I don't have the patience to sit and do nothing for 10 minutes. I'm on my phone. So, tea was a disaster and I'm really bored right now. The sun has just come out, so I think it's time to go for a cycle. I think that should be able to kill about an hour. I'm gonna do a fishtail braid. I need to obviously braid my hair before I go cycling, otherwise it will be destroyed in the wind. And I haven't done a fishtail braid since school. Okay, I'm gonna flip it round to the front. This is always the bit where it can fail terribly. Okay, now I can get into the swing. Braiding is the perfect task for a phone-free day because it takes all your hands and it takes all of your concentration. So I think the problem with the tea was I wasn't having to concentrate on anything or use my hands. So I think finding things to keep my hands busy is probably a sensible thing to do today. I'm going to go for a cycle that'll maybe take up an hour. Then I have something on my to-do list that's been there for quite a while. Oh, I feel like I messed this up. I think I started going for chunks that are too big and my hair is getting really layered at the moment. Okay, I don't know how much further I can take this braid, but this has been a wonderful 5-minute fill. Okay, I have no idea what this looks like. Oh, now I'm just pleating normally. Oh, this is not what I meant to do. Okay, I'm just gonna tie it up here because my hair starts to fall apart. The sun on this shot is intense, so apologies that you're looking at my translucent face. Okay, she's a little bit squint, but for not having done a fishtail braid in about 8 years, I think that's not bad. It does go squint at different points, but I never promised the world. So fingers crossed I can kill about an hour. I don't think I'm gonna miss my phone while I'm cycling. So the last time I went cycling about a week ago, there were lots of berries that were ripe. So fingers crossed we can do some foraging on my cycle. So I'm in the forest and there are still some brambles. Okay, time for some foraging. I see so many good ones and they are just out of reach. This is excruciating. This happens every time. All the good ones are just out of reach. And the key to a good bramble is you kind of want it squishy. The point where it's almost too squishy to pull off in one piece means it's perfect. So I think I see some really good ones. Oh my god, they're just, oh. See, this one is incredibly squishy. It's sweet. Usually if they're too hard, they go really sour. I've got Ooh, a handful. I'm gonna keep picking, try and not get myself stung by nettles. This one is another squishy one. So sweet. Okay, so I think this is pretty good for under 10 minutes worth of picking berries. So I'm chuffed. I'm gonna head home and hopefully transport them safely home. They're not gonna get too bashed up in my bags. My fingers are well and truly buried. I see more berries. The more I look around, the more berries I see, but I think I'm gonna say I'm done now. Otherwise, I could be here for hours. That was so wonderfully peaceful. Bramble picking is something I used to do as a kid. Just now I have a little bit of time just planning to prepare for my lab meeting, which is tomorrow, then go shopping. So I've got one thing to pick up. It's something I've been putting off for weeks, maybe months. So the thing that you hang your clothes out on in the garden, I call it a whirligig. I don't think they exist in America. So I need a new whirligig. I know it's gonna be super easy, but one of those non-essential to-do list weekend things that just get put off for 6 months. So I'm gonna get some things done today, which I guess is a benefit of not having my phone, is I just have things and I just do them. So my presentation tomorrow, I'm expected to talk for probably 30 to 45 minutes to discuss some scientific findings from another lab. They're working on things that are very similar to us. So I'm quite looking forward to presenting tomorrow. I've written a script and I'm just gonna give it a run through. I feel like today is such a boring day. I'm in pandemic mode 100 at the moment. I'm not really seeing anyone. To be honest. I feel like well quarantined is the new well traveled, and I am well quarantined, so going for a cycle, doing little things on my own is good for the soul. So I'm going to practice my presentation, buy a whirligig online, go and pick it up and install it, and that should be 24 hours up. I'm out getting messages, and as I was leaving the house I did the usual phone, keys, wallet check, and I didn't have my phone. I'm just waiting in the car for 5 minutes and I'm already bored. But I gotta keep on the lookout for traffic wardens. I'm just remembering how much I enjoy people watching as well. It used to be such a pastime for me to sit in a cafe and just watch the world go by, and I haven't done it in such a long time. I just love looking at everyone and wondering what they're thinking. I don't know why. Actually been 24 and a half hours. I was busy eating food and I just let the time pass. I still want to check my phone. I think the last 24 hours has taught me that the world doesn't stop if you ignore your phone for a while. I feel like there's always the urge to like make sure that you're up to date on everything. I don't think that mattered so much in the last 24 hours. Probably wouldn't rush to do this again, but it wasn't traumatic. It wasn't life-changing, and I wouldn't rush to do it again. It's nice to know that I have the willpower. If you enjoyed watching me potter about phoneless, then feel free to like this video. I just did it. My phone's been on for 20 seconds and I'm already angry. Having a cup of tea without my phone was honestly the hardest part, which I was not anticipating. I don't think I will be adopting a fully phoneless life. I could not live without my calendar, but apart from that, on the weekends, I feel like that was a fine experiment. Power to you if you want to go phoneless. I think being phoneless was good. It felt like being on holiday at times. It felt mind-numbingly boring at other times. And yeah, I feel like I would do this again on another weekend day that I just want to have a little bit of a break and chill. And that's everything. So Feel free to stick around and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this from me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!